Be up, guys. Welcome to this stream. It's a bit late. I was going to do this a lot earlier than this, and apologies for the delay. It was supposed to be at 7 as well, but obviously other things cropped up. But obviously this is a preview for the Bees and Wolves game tomorrow. Plus, I've got a bonus one of the England squad announcement. For the Nations League, obviously the two Nations League games coming up for England, and obviously Dom Solanke is in the squad at last, been named. But why still no Morgan Rogers? That's what I want to know. But anyway, we're going to talk about that after the Bees preview, and I've got a guest on, of course, again. Manny is here to help me discuss all this, and also I've got this comment here. Well, not comment, it's the link. If anyone wants to come on, you're welcome to. The link is there in the live chat. Yeah, you're welcome on. But anyway, I'll bring my guest on. Mr. T, big up to you, my friend, on Friday evening. You there? You there, Manny? You there, mate? Mr. T? You there? Oh, this is a great start, isn't it? Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, you're there? Right. Yeah, be up, Mr. T. On this Friday evening. How are you?
Yeah.
You there? You there, Manny?
Can you hear me, Steve?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've actually joined on a new mobile phone, which is sort of like an iPhone, an old one, because I think instead of being in a situation where I'm crashing out all the time, at least, I end up staying on for a bit longer. The problem is there's a trade-off in that the connection might be a bit unstable. So at any given time, I don't know if I'll be able to clearly hear you. And so I'm going to have to really listen quite hard. And so once again, I'm going to have to make sure there's no background noise. But if this seems to be working on the iPhone, because obviously there is unlimited storage, then yeah, I'm talking to you about a lot of things.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I can hear you all right. It's a little bit silent, but I can hear you. You might. This is where I stuck with the
I'm
other
going to have
one.
to speak a bit louder. How's this now?
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah, I can hear you now. Got a comment from Warren already. Buzz. Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, buzzing. We hope. Make the wolves howl at the moon, I hope. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to bring this up and obviously talk about this. Yeah, and Bowen volley it's got there, nominated. I think it's that for the goal of the month or something. I'll try and get back to that. See, we're getting all these things, nominations for goals and everything. Yeah, Premier League goal of the month. But we're still not winning things, Manny. We're not winning games. Why are we getting so excited about all this? That's what I want to know. 1 point to show for those 3 games we got a goal in like the first minute or inside the first minute. We haven't won. We've got 1 point. Why can we celebrate this? It's a great goal, fantastic goal by Bowen, but we want 3 points at the end of the day. It's not about great goals. It's about winning games. And he's gone yet again, Manny. Yeah, Warren, beats to sting the Wolves. I hope so, mate. We should do. I mean, look, they're bottom of the table. They're bottom of the Premier. We've got to beat a team like this. Come on. Struggled against West Ham. That we should be beating teams like West Ham that are, poor at the moment, are doing badly. I just don't get it. I don't get it, mate. Any crumb of comfort? Not really. I want to be winning games, Warren. We're here to win games, mate. You know what it's like with Arsenal. You got to win games. It's about the 3 points or even a point at the end of the day. Yeah, okay. And I'm still not even happy really with that point. We should have been beating West Ham. They are really in bad form. And how we could only draw them, especially at home, it's criminal. And I'll bring Manny back. Looks like he's back here again. Yeah, big up, Mr. C. Yeah, again. Still having issues, mate. By the looks of it. It's the name of the game.
Yeah, to switch off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the name of the game, as ABBA once sung. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it is the name of the game, and the winner takes it all.
Yeah, but we're not taking it all at the moment, are we? That's the problem. And, if we don't buck up our ideas and beat Wolves, they're bottom of the table. Don't forget, everyone, we know they're bottom of the table. And as much as we think they shouldn't be, they're a decent team. They've got a great manager. Gary O'Neill is a quality manager. But they are bottom, and they're bottom for a reason. And if we can't beat teams like this, I think we should just give up. I really do. It's this, this league goal of the month and all that, this record. Oh, fuck it. I'm sorry, Manny. Apologise for the swearing. But, I'm sorry, fuck it. Because I want the 3 point. I want us to win. I want us to get up, the table. Not struggling again like last season. We can't be doing that. We just can't. So, yeah. So we move on and talk about, obviously, yeah, it was a fantastic goal against Spurs, this one, of course, from Bowen. I can't really show it because I know they'll be struck off here, taken off. So I've already had that before, so I know what'll happen. I can't obviously show the goal as much as I'd love to. It's a great goal. But we still ended up losing the game. So I'm afraid we move on. I'm not going to discuss it. Right. Let's get into this. And obviously there'll be no, team. There'll be nothing, no confirmed. So we have to go into a predicted, probable team for this. And we'll look at the last game and see who we had there. Who played in our last game. I think we know. Pretty much the usual. The 1-1, which should have been better than that. We all know that. Yet we're running around celebrating an actual record of, scoring for the third time inside a minute in 3 Premier games. But who cares? I want points. I want us to win. No more than that. I want it. We got to be, sorry, Granny. We got to be winning. I'm on a bit of a rant, mate, again. Some fans are more interested in the day out and Rover. Yeah. Exactly, Warren. Yeah. Yeah. It's about the 3 points at the end of the day. It's not about records. Fuck records. I'm sorry. I'm sorry again. Apologise, people, but that's it. Yeah, so Brentford, we had a 4-4-2. This was also against West Ham. Mr. Flecken in goal yet again. I still don't rate the guy. I'm sorry, I don't. He's no Raya. We haven't replaced him properly, I don't think. He probably didn't have a lot he could do possibly about the goal, I don't think. Scruffy goal they got as well, West Ham. Really scruffy. And we didn't defend it particularly well, I don't think, either. But, I guess there wasn't a lot, but I still don't think he's that great. You look at Raya and you look at him, and Raya is miles above him. You see what he does at Arsenal, Raya, now, and what we've let him go for 27 million. Are we fucking dumb or what? We should have got bled Arsenal dry for him. He's quality, and we somebody like that back again, Yeah, Warren's team thought some fans are more interested in drawing over managers' looks and players' tattoos and haircuts. Yeah. Warren, exactly right, mate. 100%. I totally agree. That is not good. Anyway, Manny, are you there? Because I can't really hear you a lot there. I can hear funny noises. You there, mate?
Yeah, the reason why you can't hear me, Steve, is, and you are perfectly justified in feeling the way you feel, because, the end of the game is to win. Can you hear me clearly, though?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yeah, definitely hear you now. Yeah.
Well, time for me to out.
Okay. Right, it's gone again. Anyway, I'll bring him back very soon, because he'll be back again soon. Right, so Vandenberg, about the goalie, it's, we're going with what we got here, and that's him. And I still wonder if we should give the other goalie a go, Valdemarson. Play him in the League Cup matches. He's conceded one goal there. So not too bad, really. He's taller, and I think there might be more about him. He's younger, but that doesn't matter. Age is not really a thing here. It's about ability. It's about ability. Anyway. Oh dear, poor Mr. T. Yeah, poor Mr. T indeed. He's having real problems again with his phone and stuff. But anyway, I think maybe it's time to give our other goalie another go. Playing him in the League Cup matches, fair enough. But I think he should get a go in the Premier as well. I still don't think Flecken's sound enough. I've got no faith in him keeping clean sheets. I just haven't. And you're back once again, Mr. T.
Yes, I'm back. I was hearing the rant that you were going on. Listen, you're absolutely right. There's no way in the world that any fan worth his salt, or her salt, or their salt, I should say, should be happy with mere stats. And one thing which I always say to Warren and others on other streams is that stats without silverware or results are just stats. So if we feel that angry about not getting the trophies we deserve, despite our stats, you should be about not getting the points you deserve. And that little bit about, Mark Flecken possibly being dropped, and Haldemarson, I think is that his name? Valdemarson, I think is his name, right? Yeah, that's right. I'm glad I got it the second time. It would have been absolutely shameful if I'd gotten it wrong. There is a case for possibly bringing him in. You also somehow have to look at things with a more objective eye and say, is Flecken really at fault for the goals you're conceding? And I know you're not going to like this stat, but there is, of course, a stat which says that he has made the most saves of any goalkeeper this season. So, he's making saves, but he's also conceding quite a lot. He's no different from Aaron Ramsdale, really. So I suppose if you want to get some solidity, you could do a lot worse than putting Valdemarson in. But given that you're coming up against the bottom team in Wolves, who literally are shorn of any kind of confidence and look almost demoralized in a way. I really don't know if there is any need to change things very much necessarily.
No, probably not. I mean, I'm still wary of them. I'm not underestimating them at all. I think they're still a very good team, Wolves. I don't know why they are struggling like they are. I mean, they did get rid of some big players, of course. Neto and all that, of course, was a big loss for them. But, I still don't know why they are down there. But at the end of the day, if you're down there for a reason, aren't you? So we should be beating these teams. We should. And it should have been the same against West Ham. They were struggling badly, West Ham. And yet we somehow gifted them a point. I'll come to the community stadium, a nice, friendly community stadium, GTEC. We give you a goal. We give you a point. When you're in shit street, we give you a fucking point. Yeah. Please like, share, and subscribe, as Warren said. Definitely. Yeah. So we're too nice at times, Manny. I think we're too nice. They say bees only sting when they really have to, and it seems like we do as well. So.
Yeah, I do feel you. I really do. And sometimes there will obviously come a time when you are going to have to start being a little bit more ruthless, perhaps. But this should very well be the time when you can start showing your might and showing your sting, as it were. And if you can do that, then that's always going to be good. But I really don't want you to sort of feel as though you aren't trying hard. I mean, obviously, you're putting in so much endeavor, and I keep telling you this: the midfield and defense need a lot of looking on, because offensively, you are looking really good.
Yeah, I probably do agree with most of that, Manny. I do, but as you say, this defence. I mean, Vandenberg's getting there. I hadn't seen a lot of him. Obviously, he was at Liverpool and he'd been out on loan to other teams as well, Vandenberg. So he's coming on, but it's slowly. You got to get these. I think you still need to give some of these players time. They've not long joined us, and they're expected to do things straight away. And even I think that. I mean, Carvalho's another one. I expected him to really kick on, and he got a great goal against Leyton Orient. Overhead kick in the League Cup. And I thought, oh, that's it. He's here now. Carvalho's actually clicking, and he's here. And he's going to carry this on. But hasn't quite yet. And we got others to come in, of course. Our striker that's still injured, new one. Obviously, Vista to come back as well. But the thing is, we still got to wait till, later in the year. And we need the results now still. We can't be waiting. We've got to get these players back in. Another one is this Gustavo Nunez. I don't know when he's coming in. 18-year-old. Wonder kid, apparently. From Grameo. When's he coming in? We got to start doing something, Manny. We can't keep just making excuses. Oh, we got this record. We got this. We got that. It's an achievement. Yeah, but so's getting 3 points. The league is an achievement. He's gone again. Anyway, I'll carry on. Right, Warren again. The goalkeeper may not be your team's problem. It may be what is front of Flecken, defenders and midfielders, or the way the team is set up. Yeah, you're probably right there, Warren. Yeah, you are, mate. I think you're probably right. But yeah, you still got to rely on your keeper as well, though, to make the saves, and he has done at times, Flecken. But you still think he's always going to concede. There's always something there. You can't be totally relying on him. There's this. I just got not any total faith in him like I did with Raya or anything like that, you know. I hate carrying on about bitching on about Raya because, you know, but he was quality. He was a fantastic keeper, and you've got him for cheaper than he should have been. You know, Spuds would have given us 40 mil for him. That's more like it, you know. We would have got the 40 mil for him, but he didn't want to go there. He wanted to go somewhere, I suppose, we thought he's going to win trophies. Yeah, good luck with that one, Raya. Well, Arsenal as well now. Good luck with that one. But yeah, and you're back, my friend.
Yeah,
right,
so I think that from pretty much summed up the entirety of the issues surrounding your team at the moment. As I said, it is the midfield and the defense that's really causing you more problems than otherwise. And, you know, you might have to consider what might be the best course of action to make sure that you know, can get the best out of the team in question. Maybe Frank needs to change things up. That's why I also agree and have said that dropping Flecken would not really be the wisest move. It might be a bit harsh. But, you know, you also have a point when you say that Wolves shouldn't be down there, but if they're there for a reason. And that really is why, you know, this is the time to have to start, you know, really working quite a bit. You were also speaking before I went off about some players who you haven't quite seen. Some of them, you know, doing well in the League Cup, but haven't been able to transfer it into the league as of yet. I wonder if the League Cup might be a chance for you to really go as far as possible and maybe get a bit of silverware.
Yeah, well, that is one thing I kept on about, Manny. Look, we got the League Cup, a real chance to get something because we got Sheffield Wednesday next as well. We should be getting past them, but then we are going to come to the bigger teams. You know, eventually we probably have to play you lot maybe at some stage in that. But you know, it's you know, it is a great chance that because Premier teams play their weaker team, you know, their reserve teams generally, don't they? Most of them, they don't give a shit about the League Cup. They care more about like a Champions League or FA Cup or Europa League or whatever. You know, that's what they care more about. You know, and so they're not that bothered about the League Cup. We got a great chance to win this, you know, but we still fail with that. But yeah, there's another comment there, Warren. There, sorry, mate, I have to go. We'll watch the rest on playback. Cheers, mate. Thanks. Great. Thanks for coming in again. Brilliant. I appreciate your comments and everything.
Top bloke, Warren.
Yeah, have a great evening, mate, and a great weekend. Yeah, you too. Have a brilliant one. Great one, mate.
And we're listening to you take the Bucks.
Sorry, you broke up again, mate. What was that?
No, I was just saying that we're listening to Warren and staying away from the Buckfast.
Yeah. Yeah, true. No, I feel like going on it sometimes, watching my team. But, yeah. But, you know, it's the way it is supporting a team like this, I guess. But, you know, it's what I do. It's what I'm happy I can do. I like supporting my team, my local team, if you call it local. Because it is more local for me in a way. I'm not quite as close to it as some others are. But, you know, it is my team. And I've supported it for a lot of years. So, man and boy, you know, with my dad, obviously going to Griffin Park and everything. You know, I loved it. And, you know, from that, all that way down from lower leagues to the Premier, it's amazing. It's an amazing story for the Bees, you know. Incredible achievement.
Absolutely. And that's why, you know, fans like you who tell the story the way it is really are, you know, a credit to the Football League and also to your team. And we're happy that, you know, we can be a part of your content. So
I think
Yeah.
you were talking again about the. Go ahead.
No, no. Finish what you were saying there, Manny. Finish that, mate. Yeah.
The fact that we were discussing a possible discussing a preview. You did say you wanted to have a new team, perhaps. Who would you, apart from Valdemarson, who you'd like to start? Who do you think would be in the 11, considering your injuries and so forth?
Well, who I really want, we ain't going to have because they're still injured. Rico Henry, still injured. Can't believe it. He just will retire, I think, the luck the guy's having. Aaron Hickey, of course, still injured. 22 years old or something, and he keeps getting injured. It's a joke. I'm pretty happy with what we have with like Pinnock. He's always dependable at the back. Still always dependable. Fantastic player for us over the years. 30 years old or something now. But he come from non-league, obviously, as well, into the Bees team. And I think he's been amazing. He's been immense. So I'll stick with him all day long. I think Ayer is still doing a great job. Utility player. Play anywhere along the back line. So, yeah, he's still got to be there. He's still a must. Collins is really grown into his role there. He's made some mistakes since he's been here, first of all. But I think he's coming well. He's an Irish international. And, if you're an Irish international, you must be for a reason. And, I think who's me, of course. Unfortunately, he's getting towards the end of his career. He's, 33, 34, something like that now. And obviously he's nearing the end. But he's been amazing. He was immense for us when he first came here. That was the signing of the season, I think, at the time. Free transfer, Got him for nothing. And he was amazing. But I think it's starting to tell on him. He's getting injured more now. He's showing signs now of on the wane a little bit, unfortunately. He's not quite the player he was, but he's still good. I think he's still solid enough, dependable defender. But obviously, the injuries are starting to mount, and of course, one time he got sent off, so not great. But this back line it's been okay, but it's not looking as solid as it was. And I mean, this Rorsleff as well. I don't know what he's doing here, Manny. I really don't. He's really poor. He's a poor excuse for a player. Apparently, he's been here since he was 8. But so what? Who cares? If you're not good enough, why are you there?
Wow.
And, it's not good. I don't know why he keeps playing him. I mean, he didn't actually play him in that last game, and I was happy. I was so fucking happy that he didn't actually play him because it made a difference. It still held on for a draw. So that was something. With him in it, we probably would have lost. So, that's how much I hate him. I don't think he's good enough. And, okay, he's another Danish player, I believe. He is Danish. And we know how Thomas loves the Danes, being a Dane himself. But, if you're not good enough, you shouldn't be playing. And he shouldn't be. And so, obviously, I think the plus points are Damsgaard. I think he's been really good this season, Damsgaard. He's really coming on. Because don't forget, he's been a Danish international, Damsgaard. And he's been really good for them at times. A great player. So, it's about time he started doing something. And he has been. I'm quite impressed with him now. He looks really good. Now I'm still undecided on. He can be really good at times and be really shit. Now, unfortunately. And the Germans have been looking at him, of course. I think he's played for Germany in the senior team. But I'm still not sure. I'm undecided with him, Manny. And Of course, Carvalho, as I say, he's sort of a plus point. I know he can get better than this. I know what quality he's got. He's been at Liverpool, of course. And I think even Liverpool said they shouldn't really have got rid of him. Kasani Slot or something wanted him. Kasani Slot was actually bigging him up and saying how good he was. And we didn't want to get rid of him. So why did you? And then at the end of the day, you probably got the better deal. They made money out of it, I think. So a lot of money with bonuses and stuff. But then again, I think you could say it's shrewd. But then again, why are they getting rid of a player that's got, talent, promise, It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I'm happy we got him. I think he will be an incredible player. I really do. I can see signs of it already, And then Shardy, of course, is hit and miss. He can be great. He can be, you don't know what he's going to do. He's got pace. But he looks raw still, and he looks like a fish out of water sometimes for us. There are a nucleus of a good team here, Manny. There is. Lewis Potter, his quality as well. He's really come on since coming from Hull, He's been really good. I think he has got immense talent, ability. And at times he's showing it. But again, it's glimpses. It's glimpses, Manny. We want it fully. We want it all fully, Bomo is class. I'm worried about him leaving because if he goes, I think that's shit. We're in shit street, mate, if he goes as well. Because he's one of our best players, I feel. Yep. Without saying that, he's our best player, I would say. Obviously Visser, I rate him, a lot of people say, oh, look, he's not, he doesn't always do a lot in the game, but I think he gives 100%, Visser. He never gives up. He goes after the defenders and everything. He gives, it's a work rate as well, which we all appreciate, don't we, from players. So, and then obviously he can score a goal. We've seen it, he can score goals. So, I'm happy with him as well. There are plus points, Manny. I'm not slagging them off totally. I know we got some decent players there. But, I just want them to stand up now and do something because, we are sort of struggling again without these new players we brought in. A lot of them are injured. And, of course, our main players are still injured, Rico Henry, Aaron Hickey, etc. But we still got to cope without them. And I'm sorry I'm rambling here a bit, Manny. I apologise. It's time for you to give your opinion. I'm sorry, mate. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's all good. Please don't worry about it. And, I'm glad to hear your perspective. So I think what you're saying effectively is that when it comes to a squad, you are down to your bare bones almost. And obviously the biggest frustration that you have is that some of these players are quite talented, but not really able to produce it on a more consistent basis. Other players are just too injury prone. We've heard the whole thing before. We deal with similar problems, and at least you lot appreciate work rate. There are some players at Arsenal who offer nothing but work rate, and we're supposed to be thinking that that's good enough for us. Far from it. And Warren, if he were here, would agree with me on that. Yeah. It's not easy, obviously, when you're in a situation where some of your better players are still, out injured. You mentioned Henry, obviously, and, it's never a nice thing at all. And I think the biggest challenge now will be, how do you try and make the most of the talent that you do have at your disposal? How do you set the team up? So, for instance, you've got your first 11 there from the last game at West Ham, I believe it was, yeah? So let's assume that that's going to be the... Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, can you, buddy?
Brilliant. So let's assume that that's going to be the basis on which... Brilliant. So let's assume that that's going to be the basis on which you form your team. Who would you keep in that team, and who would you drop? And who would you bring in for the drop people? let's use that last team as a sort of a template here.
Thing is, man, it ain't going to matter what I want. It's what Thomas Frank's going to do at the end of the day. And he'll probably play more of the same. But I still would. I would try Valdemarsson in goal. Look, he gets a clean sheet against England, Manny. He gets a clean sheet against England for Iceland before the Euros. Let's not forget that. You know, gets a clean sheet. So, yeah, I'd play him. I'll give him a go here, see what he's capable of in the Premier. You know, he did concede one in the League Cup. Probably not a lot he could do with it against Leyton Orient. But he also saved a penalty in one of those games against Colchester. Saved the penalty. So, yeah, I'd give him a go. But he won't. He'll stick with Flecken. I'll probably keep going with Vandenberg. I think he shows he's got something. I know he's got something there. He looks like he's capable. He's still got to bed in, as we all know. New players, you got to give him you got to let them bed in a bit and give him a chance. So I would keep going with him. I'll keep going with Ayer. Definitely Collins, Pinnock. I don't think our back lineup is a real issue. It's if something's happening there, though. I don't know why they're not as strong as they were. I don't get it. But I still think there is a good back four there, back line, you know. I really do. I wouldn't play Rorsleff at all. I wouldn't put him in the team. I wouldn't let him go near Brentford. I know it sounds harsh, but it's true. So, yeah, I would do that. I would still keep going with Damsgaard. I think he's really playing pretty well. He's probably in the form of his life since he's been here, really. And Norgard, of course, Scott's come back. Jensen, you know, don't forget, they're still out. I think there is some injury news on them I want to look at in a minute. But obviously they get in the team. They're, you know, ever dependable, Norgard and Jensen. I'm still undecided on Janelt, so I would probably leave him out, to be honest. I don't think he's always that great. I still give you another guy I think is really good is Yarmuluk. I rate Yarmuluk, a very good young player. And I think he's got to give him another go. Keep going with him. Let's see, because he looks impressive at times when I've seen him, you know. I think he's played for the Ukraine senior team. He's that good, you know. He's that decent. So why not get him in? Why not keep going with him? And young Trevitt as well. I rate him. What I've seen of him, he played in the League Cup, I think at left back. And he was amazing, you know. Meg Omer as well. Another young player we got. Left back, of course. I think he's got it as well. I can see things with him. He looks, you know, promising. He really does. And, you know, we need a good left back. So let's play him. Let's get him in. Let's play him. And another one,
okay.
Kim G.
So that's a start. Left back then.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Definitely, Manny. But I know he won't. He won't. He'll stick with what we got here. That'd be the team pretty much again. Unless Norgard and Jensen are back. So I would say I don't know who will drop out. I would say you got to drop out Janelt. I don't think he's doing enough. Would you have to drop Damsgaard the way he's playing? I guess. I don't know. And there's just, you know, there's still more questions than answers, and you know, it's still up in the air, Manny, unfortunately. So, you know, for me, I would have a bit different to that what he's got here, but I know he won't. I know he won't change it, Manny. He's quite stubborn, he's Thomas at times. You know about that with Arteta, don't you? Yeah.
Well, he's either stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah, be up to you, Luca, by the way. Coming in. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I'm okay. On a bit of a rant here and a bit, going off on one a little bit, but that's par for the course with the bees, mate, I'm afraid. But thanks for coming in. Brilliant. I'd like to see your comment, your opinion on this as well, but if you're still in here, please leave a comment on what you think about all this and our team and what we're going to do against Wolves. Yeah, so sorry guys, I'm just getting to something else on there I want to talk about, but obviously we want to go into the England squad soon, guys, so we'll be talking about that very soon. But just getting this preview done first and then moving on to that. So we'll just go into that, and I'm just going to bring something up, guys. Sorry about this. We're gonna right. I just want to see about the injuries. Any news? Where was it? The latest injury update. Here we go. Visser, Norgard, and Henry. We'll talk about that. Yeah, you're back, mate. Yeah, anyway, I'm moving on now. I'm moving on to...
Yeah, so obviously we're going to get into the injury updates. I was going to say that you should have enough about you to secure a 2-1 win, but I think their defence is a bit leaky, and obviously Sam Johnston, having come in from Crystal Palace, hasn't quite been able to stem the tide, although he has made some good saves. But what you've been proposing about potential players coming in is quite interesting. I think clearly, you're not impressed with Jan Elt very much, and you would rather see someone else come in ahead of him. So, yeah, that's going to be something to consider. But in addition, it does seem clear that the injuries that you've got leave you a little bit short-handed. Is this it? You can go into that now, but is he completely fit? Is he out for a long time, or what's the story with him?
Right, anyway, yeah, I will just read this, Manny, and then we'll see. But Brentford head coach Thomas Frank has issued an injury update on a number of Bees players ahead of the Premier League clash with Wolves on Saturday. Rico Henry is yet to feature this season. Christian Norgard has missed the last 2 games, and Kevin Shardy was taken off during last weekend's 1-1 draw with West Ham United. Frank revealed Kevin Shardy is ready. I expected that. It was cramped. Christian Norgard is also available, which is a positive. It is. Everyone who knows me and knows his quality will also know that. If he is fit and available to start, he will probably start. And Rico Henry trained with the team today. Yes. Come on. So that's a positive too. He has done a lot on the grass and a lot of one-on-one. He's now back training with the team. Yes, Manny. What we want to hear. What a player that guy is. We need him back. He's a guy I thought could have played for England as well. And unfortunately for injuries, I don't think he will. This is a great left back. He's class. He's got pace. He can cross the ball up and down the pitch. He's that great. But for injuries, it's hampered him and not helped us either. Man United will probably be too soon. It will likely be a few weeks after that. But if he's coming back, I'm just happy with it, I will know more about after the international break. He added Matthias Jensen is in a better place. He's been running on the pitch this week, so that's another positive. It's good news as well. Paris Maghoma, obviously our new player, I think I already mentioned to you, has done well and looks fit. he will have another game involvement on Monday, and when everyone is back, he will be fully firing and competing. So that's good. And Gustavo Nunez is a longer-term one. Why did we get these new players, Manny? They all get injured and they're out for so long. I just don't get it, man. I just don't. But anyway, it'll be good when he does come in. Visser is progressing well. He was running on the grass, so that's good too. Yeah. Come on. More good news. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good, Manny. We're getting somewhere with these players. They're starting to come back, which is good. Happy with that. And hopefully, I'm sure a lot of them won't play in the internationals if they're not quite ready, so they won't be playing in that. So they got time to be ready and be fit, haven't they? Really. You still there, mate? Oh, he's gone again. Big up, Harry. Yeah, honey gun. Big up, guys. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we are, mate. Manny keeps coming in and out. It's his mobile again, but he's back again. Once again. We're turning to Mr. T.
Yep. Can you hear me, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate,
so
yeah.
I heard what you were saying about. I heard what you were saying about Visser, and it looks as though he might not be in the best condition to start as of yet. But obviously, if he's making a recovery from injury, that can't be, and to answer your question, I can't answer your question, to be honest, because it's I'm not the one who makes the decision to sign the players in question, but it's always the same when you get an injury. You always wonder, why did we sign these players? And injuries can happen at any time. You can't really do anything but just curse ill luck and bad timing. But I must commend you, though. You do have some excellent talent ID, some good scouts over at Bournemouth. I mean Brentford, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Yeah, bees, mate, not cherries. But anyway, you're getting too confused with them, mate. Doing too much with them.
It is mental flatulence. Mental flatulence.
Yeah, true. Doing too much cherry picking, Manny. But anyway, right. So
I was on we recorded a picking stream earlier today. Big up to the guys at UTC ID, and we were talking about Solanke being in the squad. And that'll be a nice segue to get into the yeah. But I think but as I've said, I think I'm confident enough to predict a 2-1 win for the Bees, and I think you should be confident of a win too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for, Manny. I just think we will concede again. There's no doubt. We just cannot hang on and get a clean sheet, unfortunately. So I still think we'll concede, but I think we still should have enough to get this over the line 2-1. This is the Wolves team here. Of course, as you was on about Sam Johnston there, Semedo. It's a good team here. It's a very good team. Brano, Doyle came on for him. Totti, Ait-Nouri. I rate him, Ait-Nouri. I really do. Class player. And Semedo. Andre. Shao Gomez, Lamina, Bellegarde, Cunha, Strand Larson, and of course Hwang as well. He's there. Doherty, we've got Sarabia. There's Gradis. There's a lot of good players there, Manny. So why are they struggling?
I think the loss of the likes of Neto and Kilman has sort of taken away some of the influence in that team, as it were, and maybe they're just not quite as, strong and well guided as they used to be. I mean, it's no real excuse, and they are performing well, but they're not necessarily having the rub of the green. However, the Premiership being tough and compromising as it is, hard luck stories get you no sympathy.
True. So we're both going for a 2-1 to the Bees. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. I want this to be a win. We've got to win against the bottom team club. And here we go. He's off again. But anyway, don't worry, Manny. We're going to talk about England next, so it's coming. So let's go into it. The big one now, about the England squad. We'll chat about that, guys, and let's get to it. Anyway, before I get onto that, come on the bees. Let's hope we can do this. We've got to beat the bottom team. Doesn't always go that way. It doesn't, how it should go, how it's planned. But if we are got anything about us, even if we score again in the first minute or whatever, let's go on and finish them off and win it, guys. Come on, lads. We can do it. Come on, the bees. Come on. Yeah. So you're back just in time, Mr. T, to talk about England, the new England squad.
Yep.
Been announced.
Yeah. This is the way. You are going to have to accept that as long as I'm on my phone, I'll have to come out and back in. But as long as the timing's right, we make it work. I'm happy.
Yeah, sure, mate. And I'm sure you'll want to go on about this. Solanke gets first England call up in 7 years. But as I put it out there, on current form, why is he? Some people are saying, well, why is he now when he's only scored 3 goals for Spurs and not exactly done it? He should have been in there. Let's face it, he should have been in there when he was bang on form, hot last season, scoring 19 goals. That fucking Southgate, usual favourites. Forget about him.
Oh, man.
What do you think? What do you say about all this? No, it's gone again. We'll get his answer when he comes back, guys. Don't worry about it. We get his answer then. Wait for Manny's important opinion here. He knows a bit about Solanke because obviously he's up the cherries and all the partners. Big up to you guys. Great channel. Up the cherries. So please give them some support, some love. Keep subscribing to them. Please, guys. Yeah, brilliant channel. Anyway, obviously he knows a little bit about Solanke, and now we get his opinion on it. We get Manny's opinion now he's back. What do you make of it? Manny? You there?
Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear you, mate? Yeah.
Well, were you able to read the article, first of all? Because obviously, once you read the article, I might be able to give you some answers why he's been called up now.
This is by Sean Cairns for BBC Sport. Tottenham striker Dominic Solanke has been named in Lee Carl's England squad for this month's Nations League matches against Greece and Finland. It is the striker's first call-up since he earned his only cap, a substitute appearance against Brazil in 2017 during his time at Liverpool. I think you might have forgotten it, that he did play. Carsley said he was really close to being in the last squad, but got injured just before selection. Oh, well, there you go. It was an injury then. He did so well at Bournemouth, and now he's taken that form into Spurs. He's got a lot of really good attributes I really like. Aston Villa midfielder Morgan. Yeah, this is another thing I'm going to talk about in a little while. But yeah, let's just go to talk about Solanke first, Manny.
Go ahead.
I'll just talk about Solanke first. I'm going to go into that Morgan Rogers thing in a little while.
Yeah,
Solanke though first.
Yeah, actually, Morgan Rogers has been selected for the under-21s.
Yeah.
So he will get some involvement with England in the near future, one would think. And I think the best thing for him to do would be to develop further under Unai Emery. And it's funny how, a lot of the talk on Twitter is about how Emery was a horrible coach at Arsenal. He wanted to, get rid of Saka and also offer some cash for Wilfried Zaha from Crystal Palace, and then try and bring some other players into the team. But what these idiots don't realise is that Emery is actually really a very smart coach in terms of identifying talent and bringing out the best in that talent. And Aston Villa have reaped the rewards, especially, I know that, Wednesday's match against Bayern Munich was not the actual final, but it was a repeat of that beautiful day of 1982 and a wonderful tribute to Gary Shaw, Lord rest his soul. And, Emery is that sort of a person, really. So he's doing some good things with Morgan Rogers, and I say Morgan's time will come, I promise you. If he ends up doing well, he could end up becoming Captain Morgan, perhaps.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But,
it's not Rogers and out.
Until then, let's let him go.
It could be 3-2-1.
And as far as Solanke is concerned, yeah, I get that. Now, as far as Solanke is concerned, I was chatting with the boys when we were doing the recording of the stream, and it will be, released later on this evening on the UTC IAD channel. And I was saying that it's sort of retroactively a reward for Solanke's excellent performances with Bournemouth. Because with a Brentford connection, you will know that Tony was picked for the squad ahead of him for the Euros, right?
Yeah.
And I remember saying that selection in and of itself will be proof that it isn't necessarily a small club bias that prevented Solanke from getting selected. I think Southgate, the turncoat and the waistcoat, had some ideas of the players he wanted. And he probably considered Solanke to be too much like Harry Kane in a way that unless Harry Kane got injured, Solanke was never really going to get a look back in. But with Tony, he offered something different, someone who could, close his way through defenders, someone who was strong, someone who was excellent at taking penalties. But now that Tony's gone to Saudi Arabia, Solanke's seized his chance. And obviously, if Lee Carsley had been manager at the time for the Euros, I'm sure he would have picked Solanke. So hopefully that answers people's questions. It's retroactively a reward for his displays at Bournemouth, but now he's come to Tottenham where they're playing in Europe. He scored 3 goals already after recovering from an injury, and he will definitely add some more. And a lot of Arsenal fans were thumbing their noses up at the prospect of us getting our hands on him. I'm going to sort of make a bet right now that he will end up scoring more goals than Kai Havertz this season.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Manny. 100%. I think he will.
Yep. $65 million down the drain, but Solanke proves his worth again and again.
Yeah. Exactly. And look, I was banging the drum for this guy all last season when he should have been in the England squad. The Euros. Well, obviously this year, I should say. But I was banging the drum for him to be in there, saying he should be, because look, you score 19 goals. That's not nothing in a Premier season, And, only behind, Haaland or whatever again. That's it, really. That's amazing. I think incredible. And now you can't pick someone. And, you keep saying, well, you should be picking these players on form. When they're on form, when they're doing something, when they're on fire, you pick them. You don't keep going for your favourites all the time that are doing fuck all or not even getting in the team. Why keep picking them? It's brain dead, Manny. Brain dead. Stupid.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing, though. You take a look at most of these England managers, and they're of the idea that, having continuity in selection is always going to be good because, you need to make sure that you build a consistently happy environment and make sure that the players are, well versed with one another. Now, Southgate, of course, was very notorious for being ruthless when it came to final elections at times. We all know how he dropped Joe Hart for the 2018 World Cup. Did the same thing with Jordan Henderson and Marcus Rashford for this Euros. Also, Jackie Grealish, don't forget. But and that's the thing. Like, What I do like about Carsley is that he does seem to be picking on form. And there was an interview he gave where he said that he wanted to use these Nations League games as an opportunity to find a good pool of players that can help out with the World Cup qualification campaign. And the Nations League, obviously, getting out of the group and getting promotion to the top group would be a priority. But he wanted to make sure that he had the most informed players in his squad at his disposal. And of course, there's a question as to why he should even continue picking Harry. But credit to him, he is still scoring the goals. Although interestingly enough, he didn't concede. He didn't score on that Wednesday night. My goalkeeper made sure he didn't.
Yeah, I was going to say what happened. Where was Harry Kane then? Yeah. He was doing his probably his Euros impression where he didn't turn up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was simply not able, and Martinez made sure of that. The world's number one. And also there's a recent article in Daily Mail, or the Daily Fail as I call it, where Dietmar Hamann said, Bayern Munich didn't buy Harry Kane to have him score goals against these nondescript teams. We bought him to score goals against some of the bigger teams, and he hasn't really done that. Basically saying that our captain is no more than a flat track bully. Ouch. And hearing that from Didi Hamann is it's quite refreshing, because he was a quality player in his day for Liverpool and Germany, and went on to do fairly well with Manchester City and one or two other clubs before retiring. And so there are going to be some concerns as to whether or not Kane can do it. And having him play these qualifiers and fill his boots or pad his stats, will this necessarily be beneficial for him and England? And, if we take him to the World Cup, assuming we qualify, and he again has a no-show, would it be worth it? The big question is now who gets to play alongside him. Watkins' position is now secure after coming back into form with Aston Villa, but Solanke is there on merit, as are Madueke. I think Gallagher being there is a bit of a surprise. I mean, maybe he's showing some good qualities for Atletico Madrid, but when they against Benfica, he had a bit of a disaster class. A bit surprised in a way that Maddison isn't there. Bowen out's a disappointment, but clearly Carsley has, done his homework and been watching them closely like a hawk. That maybe it's not quite their time yet.
And I'm sorry, actually, Manny, I'm sorry, I'm going to disagree with you about a lot of that. Maddison not doing a lot for Spurs. Sorry, he's not great. He's not been doing much. I don't think he should be in it. I agree that he shouldn't be in it. With Carsley here, I'm glad he hasn't picked him. He hasn't done enough. And the Morgan Rogers thing, I'm sorry, I'm going to disagree with you, my friend. I think he should be playing right now. You got I know you said he's in the under-21s, but you look at the likes of Kobe Mainu, Angel Gomez, Angel Summit, whatever. Likes of them. What are they, only 20? Only 20s? Or they even team? So if he can play players like them, why can't he play Morgan Rogers? Was he 22? How the hell can he play those young players and not put him in? I'm sorry, Manny, I have to disagree. I do. And he's buzzing. He's on real form, on fire now.
Well,
Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, it's certainly it's a beautiful day in his neighbourhood. I completely agree. And if you really want to take it that far, you might as well, get rid of Gallagher and chuck Rogers in there. So it just goes to show that even with Carsley, there are going to be a few people who will be there just to provide that kind of, that leadership balance, as it were. But then I suppose with Gallagher, he's showing a little bit of form at Atletico, but is not exactly very consistent. And you might as well recall Jordan Henderson, who's at least not playing in Saudi anymore. So you do have a point. You do have a point. And there's a little bit of a section in that article there. Carsley could play all the number 10s. Would you like to read that, please, mate?
Yeah, sure, mate. Yeah. And also, before I do, I will just carry on with the rest of that. What he said, Aston Villa midfielder Morgan Rogers is absent despite his fine start to the season. while Man United defender Harry Maguire, Tottenham playmaker James Maddison, and Crystal Palace winger, another one, Berisha Eze, also miss out. So why has he missed out? But, I mean, you could probably argue the same with Maguire. He actually hasn't let England down, to be honest. He hasn't really let us down, has he? But why, you know, he plays better for us, for England, than he does for United, really. Kyle Walker, who has 90 England caps but was left out of Carsley's first squad, has earned a recall. And you could argue with that. He hasn't exactly been in tantalising form. Kyle Walker, he looks like he's, I don't know, almost finished in a way. He's lost his pace a bit. You know, should he still be there? Well, Real Madrid's Jude Bellingham has been selected after missing September's fixtures through injury. At last, he's come back to play. Hey, Jude, you're actually playing again. Carsley made a strong start to his time as England interim manager with victories against Finland and the Republic of Ireland in September in the Nations League. The Three Lions host Greece at Wembley on the 10th of October before playing Finland in Helsinki on the 13th. Right, so I'll do this one now. How Carsley could play all the number 10s. Carsley has dropped a hint at how he may fit in the talented trio of Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden and Cole Palmer into one team. Good luck. All three missed the last camp and their inclusion gives him a big selection dilemma. Palmer is well known to Carsley after he managed the Chelsea forward during his time as under-21 boss as the Young Lions won the under-21 Euros in 2023. Yeah, brilliant. Carsley was asked about whether the team needs a specialist left-back as Levi Colwill is the only left-footed defender included. And the head coach said the forward players will help ease the burden on that position. We have really gifted wide players. Our height, pace and width will come from our wide players rather than our full-backs, the interim coach said. This could mean that Carsley will utilise the attacking trio in a similar way he set his under-21 side up. He played Palmer as a deep-lying midfielder, a number 10, and off the right-hand side of attack. Jude Bellingham has been playing in a deeper role for Real Madrid this season and could line up in midfield alongside Declan Rice, whilst Foden could play from the left or in the number 10 role. Carsley has stressed that he doesn't get caught up with positions, but thinks about the best way to attack the opposition. Well, what do you make of that, Manny?
Oh, boy. Do you remember in Euro 2024, we had a huge controversy about Luke Shaw being picked in the squad, and naturally his lack of fitness meant that we had a problem at left back with no naturally left-footed left back.
Yeah.
Kieran Trippier has announced his retirement. Mike Colwell's the only left back we have, so it's safe to say that he will play both games unless something cataclysmic happens to him. Yeah. And oh boy, you know, it's very easy to say as a manager that you don't need to really get your jocks in a jam over tactics and so forth, but sometimes they're important. And you and I could probably both agree that for all of his failings as a person, Glenn Hoddle was probably the best manager we had for a long time in terms of tactical acumen. Such a shame that in terms of his personal attributes, he was a bit of a pillock.
Yeah.
But, you know, you can't just have this sort of attitude which says that, you know, don't worry about some things, all right on the night. And that's not really a responsible way to go about things. It does highlight a fact that we are shorn of really good quality left backs in England right now. With a Bournemouth connection, Lloyd Kelly, who used to captain Bournemouth but is now at Newcastle, could be an option, but I think he's injured at the moment. So, again, it's a question of where do we go? I mean, what's wrong with Ben Chilwell? Why are our left backs just not being able to step up and make things count? It's kind of ridiculous in many ways. And so we're effectively top and middle heavy, but bottom light. And that was one of my biggest fears when Southgate named his squad. and those fears have been realised again with Carsley in a way. You know, it is fair to say that the opposition we'll be up against are not exactly going to be world beaters in that regard. We're playing against Greece, I believe, and who else?
And Finland.
Ah, right. So we've already played Finland at Wembley, and you know, I think Hradecky and the defence were really the only ones who came out of that match with any credit. Although, you know, Huskinen also showed some attacking ability, getting into our box on more than a few occasions. And as far as Greece are concerned, you know, the days of that Euro 2004 success are now long gone, and they're trying to build a new identity. And they are as far removed from that triumph as can possibly be. But you still can't take matches like this not seriously. They are going to be preparation for the World Cup qualifiers, as Carsley has said. Maybe he wants to get, you know, he wants to have an idea of the resources at his disposal, and then maybe he'll select a full group from the better players in the Nations League campaign. But and it isn't. I never said that Maddison deserved to be in the squad. I said it was a disappointment that he wasn't in the squad. I thought that he could have lent something. But obviously, if form indicates that he couldn't have been picked, then we have to accept that Carsley once again has made the right decision and has opted to, you know, not pick on past glories and say that form is everything at this moment.
Yeah.
But I think managers also have to make a balance between picking on form and also, you know, chopping and changing too many players. And as cricket fans, we both know, Steve, how the constant chopping and changing adversely affected our cricket team over the years under Edward Dexter, that ridiculous chairman of selectors. You know, do we really want to see the same thing happening? In as much as some of our cricketers are not exactly pulling up trees, and we think some of them should be replaced by people we think are more deserving, Keaton, Chet Dittings, among others. You know, sometimes continuity. Yeah, but sometimes continuity does have its benefits in some respects. So I think what Carsley's trying to do is find that balance, and once he gets that balance down pat, if he's confirmed as our new manager, then at least he's going to carry out his duties with more integrity, at least in theory.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But no, I know it sounded like I was really against you about Maddison. I just feel I don't think he should be in it because he's not really done enough, and he's a quality player, Maddison. I do rate him, I really do. I think when he gets on his game. And the thing is, he bigs himself up a lot, and he's got a lot of arrogance and this and that and whatever, which I think is good. You should have that in a way if you feel you're good enough. But can you produce it? Can you back it up is the problem. And he doesn't always do that. That's the thing. Maguire, do you agree with me with that? He hasn't actually let England down when you think about it. Was he had done really bad for England, Maguire? You can say he hasn't.
Probably not much, Steve, but you know, he missed out on the Euros, as you know, because he was injured, and I think the lack of playing time at Manchester United hasn't exactly helped.
No, but then they still picked him. Southgate kept picking him, despite not playing for United. He still kept picking him.
Well, yes, but Southgate's not the manager anymore, you see.
No, true, which is good. Well, we're all happy about that. But yeah, what do you make of Bowen being out though? I think he's a great player, Bowen. I really do. I could say he's great super smashing, really. But you know, why isn't he there?
I think the poor bloke is paying the price really for West Ham's difficult season under Lopetegui, and maybe, you know, it's affected his confidence in some respects. You know, when he knows his role and knows what he has to do for the team and does it really well, he is super smashing, as you would say. But for the moment, he's just quite able to smash it, pun intended. But listen, he's got time on his side. You have to think that he will come back into the squad sooner rather than later. Really don't think the West Ham crisis under Lopetegui is really helping him, I'm afraid.
No. True. Yeah, so there is the actual squad, the whole lot of it. As we know, obviously the main ones with the goldies, as usual, Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope. You can't say Nick Pope's having a real great time of it at the moment at Newcastle. He's made a few mistakes, I think, and his kicking still isn't great. His distribution. Henderson, I'm not sure about either at Palace. I think it's always going to be Pickford anyway. They always seem that he always goes for Pickford, don't they? They always pick him. Could you say he's been on amazing form for Everton, though, as well?
Yeah, that's the issue with the goalkeepers. And the worst part is we don't even have, I suppose with the exception of maybe Sam, who's also still sadly conceding a lot of goals, we don't really have an English goalkeeper right now in the Premiership who's proving himself worthy of demanding a call-up for England. And even Jackie Butland, who could have been considered a pick for the Euros, he's done okay at Rangers this season, but obviously last night in the Europa League, he came up against Lyon, or Lion, as it were. So in the Lions' den, they got slaughtered, and in that the Lions roared that night. And I think more than anything else, maybe there's a case of, his time sort of being long gone. It's difficult. And when you go, we haven't really had a good goalkeeper since, Joe Hart, I would say. Say whatever you want about him. He was also a little bit of a cocky git at times, but with his career, all those Golden Gloves awards and those Premier League goals, he wasn't a bad keeper at all. And when you Brazil, where Solanke made a substitute appearance, I believe that was the game where he saved Ronaldinho's penalty and had a follow-up save from that. Talk that much about that these days. And on his day, he was outstanding, but he just never was able to do it for England. And we've suffered from that, which has meant that we've had to sort of pick old dinosaur arms Pickford every single time. And there was a stage when, because we didn't have anyone else, we were stuck with David James and Paul Robinson. Blah! Couldn't stand either of them, to be honest.
Yeah. As you say, we keep picking the Jurassic keeper, Pickford, but then again, he hasn't really you can't say he's really let us down. And here we go, he's gone. That was going so well, wasn't it? He was actually here for a while, Manny. It was going too well, and then he's had to go. But anyway, let's move on to the defence. Guéhi, of course, has been magnificent, obviously for Palace and England, was great in the Euros. I'm glad he's still there. Konza, I think, has been amazing as well. Has been immense for Villa and England, I guess, as well. I'm glad he's still there. I know a lot of people rate John Stones. I think he's amazing. I still don't. I've seen things of him where he's not been great. He will still make mistakes. I don't think I know it's controversial, but I don't rate John Stones. I'm sorry. And I'm sure when I bring Manny on back in, he'll wonder why I don't rate John Stones. But you're probably wondering why I don't rate John Stones, Manny.
Yeah. Stones is actually a decent defender, but the big problem with him, and I hope you hear me now.
Yeah.
The big problem with Stones is that he and Maguire are pretty much like Siamese twins. Stones sometimes looks like a duck out of water when playing alongside someone else for England.
Yeah.
And I suppose in many ways it's important to make sure that you develop the likes of Guéhi and Konsa and reward them for their consistently fine displays at club level. And I do rate Konsa as a centre-back, and as a right-back, he's a very good utility option and is certainly a lot tidier than Ben White.
XBs.
So,
of course.
what do you say?
XBs
Oh yeah,
again.
Conser. That's
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You do produce some. You do have some pretty good footballers playing for you, lot, I have to say.
Yeah, but why do we keep losing them? We should be keeping them, Manny. Well, we got them. Great players.
Back then you weren't in the Premiership. Now that you are, maybe you'll keep a few, eh?
Yeah, all right, don't rub it in, Manny. I know. But yeah, we'll get to Watkins in a little while, and I'll go be waxing lyrical about that again and rant about that again. Anyway, right, Alexander Arnold. Yeah, do you think he'll be left back? They're saying he's going to be left back. Not left back, right back. I think. Sorry. I think he'll obviously play midfield, surely, wouldn't he? He's adaptable, and he's great passing the ball.
He is, and here's the thing about him. You know, Southgate wasn't quite able to get the best out of him as a right back, but as a midfielder, he thought he could use him very well.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you, mate.
So obviously, Carsley, for now, I know it's early days, but he seems to have found a formula to possibly get the best out of him, I'd like to think. And, you know, it will remain to be seen what will actually happen with TAA. I do think that, you know, he will obviously offer a great deal in whatever position he plays. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how well he will adapt. But Carsley seems to have done well with him, and I applaud him for that. So can't really complain very much.
No. And as we already mentioned, well, you mentioned as well, Levi Colwill, the only left back there now, really, left-footed player. Is he really left back, though? Is he? Does he play for Chelsea at left back? I don't believe he does he?
Probably not. I think Cucurella is preferred ahead of him. But, you know, he's also going to be one person who will have a lot to prove. And he's going to have to really convince Carsley that he deserves to be in the team on merit. And I say good luck to the boy.
Yeah, he's going to need it. What do you make of Rico Lewis? Do you think he's been impressive enough? I think he's done well for City as well. He looks fairly good for England. What I've seen of him, really.
Yeah, he does. And obviously there's a reason why Guardiola likes to play him a lot. I will say that when Newcastle drew with City, Guardiola got a lot of things tactically wrong by playing Lewis as the offside Kovacic. I don't think that was necessarily his best position. He should have considered possibly bringing Matheus Nunes into the team and having him pick up the slack. And then maybe, you know, the result could have been different. But, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I was happy with that because it was pretty much our means of. It was pretty much a reminder that they need us too. Stay humble, Haaland. And
yeah.
And so if Lewis played at right back, that is his better position, and that is where you find overlapping down the right and playing as a traditional right, not cutting into the midfield. If you want someone to go into the midfield, you normally play a central defender in the full-back position and have him move into the midfield. That's what we did with Zinchenko, and that's what we're doing with Calafiori. That's what Guardiola did with Stones. We're still trying to do with Stones. Lewis is the right back, and he has to play it right. Do not want to see him play at left back. Absolutely.
And last but not least, there in defence, Manny, Kyle Walker. What do we make of him? Is he on the wane? Do you think he's losing pace? He's getting worse? He's gone again. It must be mentioning Kyle Walker. He's gone. Yeah, I thought his form has dipped. His pace has gone slightly. He's looked out of it. Not at his best. I don't think he was that special at times in the Euros. He looked like he was struggling. He's losing it with the pace and stuff, like that amazing pace that, he's, why he's there, I think, because he's got all that pace to burn. And, I still don't think his decision making is the best either. I think he's a bit dumb in that respect. But the guy is a bit of an idiot. But he's quality when it comes to defending. I did think he was great. I think he might be going on a bit downhill. And Manny will tell us as well. Now I'll bring him back. We're just going to discuss Kyle Walker, Manny.
Yeah, so it could very well be that Rico Lewis is the future and Kyle Walker is the past. I think it's fair to say that Walker's better days are behind him. I was surprised that he was given a call-up, to be honest. I didn't think that he was worthy of being in the squad, but maybe there was something in his recent performances for City that impressed Carsley. I can't for the life of me consider what they would have been. And, maybe with his experience, he will be expected to play that sort of a role. But as far as being a right kind of a role to play, I think his days are starting to count, and maybe Carsley wants to give him a 100th cap and then send him on his way, like he probably should be doing with Harry Kane. So we'll see if Walker gets some action, and we'll see what sort of role he plays. Does look a little bit slow and old, but maybe he does have some other attributes that Carsley likes in him, and maybe he wanted to run the rule on the likes of Lewis and others. We'll see what happens with Walker. That's all I can say. I really can't see him, playing too much of a role under Carsley, but, stranger things have happened and can still happen.
Do you think there'll be any place for Reece James when he eventually comes back at right back? It's gone again. Mention Reece James. That must be a swear word. Made him leave again. But anyway, he'll be back very soon. Don't worry, guys. But just wait. There's still nothing in the live chat. No more comments. So we keep going with this. I won't be on here long, guys. By the way, I will be bouncing very soon because obviously I'll be going on another stream about 9. RS stream, of course, talking about the games, preview of the games, forthcoming games for the weekend for the Premiership, obviously. And I'll say follow me on Instagram at Mr. B for Life 182 and subscribe to Mr. B Either Football Chat and Mr. B Chats England Cricket. Come on, please keep doing that, guys. I want on 114 still, 114 subs. Let's get that going up, please. Come on. Thank you. Thanks for your support and everything, by the way. Brilliant. Yes. Yes, Manny. I mentioned Reece James. Is that why you left?
No. Once again, my ridiculous internet connection is playing some tricks on me. Reece James, he's not in the squad, though, is he? I think it's fair to say that he is, yeah. And he really needs to find a way to get rid of that injury curse before even hoping to be picked for England again.
But anyway, we'll move on to the midfield, and we've already mentioned Conor Gallagher. Do you think he should be there? Do you agree he should be in the squad? I'm not so sure. I think he's not a bad player. I don't think he's really bad. I think he's decent. But is he England level, would you say?
Gallagher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been good in parts for Atletico, but obviously that display against Benfica was not his finest hour. And I think he's obviously going to have to do a lot of work and make sure that he maintains a really good level that will justify his continued selection in the squad. I just think he needs to be a little bit more consistent, and the move to Atletico has come at a good time for him. He can sort of try and test himself in a new environment, enjoy European football, and make the most of his time there. But he has to continue to prove himself, and there will come a time when Carsley decide that it's not really worth picking him, and maybe someone like a Morgan Rogers could be worthy of being considered. So
Yeah.
I'd say pick him for now. Some experience, and will definitely be a good foil for the likes of Mainu and Rice and others, the usual suspects. And I say pick him for now until you can find someone better. And if Morgan Rogers shows that he's ready, then maybe he can come in and replace Gallagher.
Yeah, well, you already know what I think of that. I think he should be playing. So I do already. But there you go. But there we go. Yeah, Kobe Mainu. Good young player, promising. He showed it at the Euros, I think. He looked very good there. He's still there, I think. Good on merit. I think he looks very good, Manny. What do you make of him?
Yeah, still got a long way to go, a lot more to prove, and obviously, he did well in the FA Cup final for United, and when he got his chance with England in the Euros belatedly, he really did well. But let's get one thing straight. He's no Paul Gascoigne. His performances at the Euros weren't really that spectacular to make people think, oh, we've got an amazing new generational talent. And you remember how Gazza was, all that dribbling at Italia 90, those cheeky chappy grins and the tears, and Mainu just isn't there yet. But he can develop, and that's probably one of the reasons why Carsley needs to still have some experience in that midfield. But as I said, if Gallagher isn't doing it, it could very well be that Morgan Rogers comes back in, or if you might as well even pick Jordan Henderson, as I've said, and I don't think anyone wants to pick Jordan Henderson ever again. But if he continues to do as well as he's doing for Ajax, then he can't be ignored and playing in Saudi anymore, unlike a certain Mr. Tony. And maybe Ivan will say, you know what, I want to continue playing for England. I don't know if I can continue to hack it here in Saudi anymore. And as you know, in Saudi, gambling is illegal.
Yeah, you have to bring that up, don't you, Manny? Yeah. Well done. But yeah, but no, made him go again there. He'll be back. He's more like Arnie at the moment. He'll be back, won't he? Let's be honest. No problemo. Go to the chopper. I think he's gone on the chopper somewhere. That's why he keeps losing his Wi-Fi. But anyway, Manny, you're back more times than Arnie. You know that. Come on. Were you on the chopper? Good. You there? You there, Manny?
Yep, right, I just came back. Yeah, can you hear me? Just came back again, and I told you there's a queue. Whenever I can't hear you, it means that I have to, go out and come back in. Because if I wait to, try and have your sound come back, it takes up more time, and I don't want to take up more time. And we've been here for about 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, hopefully that answers your question. Mainu is the future. I think Mainu is the future, but he needs to be guided a lot more, and he needs all the support that he can get from the experienced players he has around him. And so Rice and Gallagher are going to have important roles to play to sort of help him along his way.
A bit, Manny. Plays for Arsenal, don't forget.
Well, I mean, he hasn't put a foot wrong for England. I mean, there are some people, some very jealous, bitter people who call him overrated and say he hasn't done anything special for England as of yet. But I think he is still going to have to continue to prove himself and really make the most of the opportunities he's getting. And, you know, he is still now one of our key players. So I would definitely go so far to say that he's going to be one to watch, and he will perform these games against Greece and Finland will determine whether or not he is really the real deal in that respect. He has to keep to be very consistent, and in all likelihood, he'll start with Mainu in that holding in that double midfield pivot, if it's a 4-2-3-1, of course, and we'll see how well they gel together. But you can say that he's a little bit inconsistent, but don't doubt his quality.
He can be a little bit overcooked or overboiled at times, but yeah, rice. But anyway, but he's
at least he's not raw anymore. At least he's not raw anymore.
No, true, and his uncle Ben will be very proud of him, I'm sure, as well. But yeah, so sorry, we move on to ice cold Palmer. What a player! What a player this boy is, Manny. We call him a boy, he's a man, really. He's got 20 odd now. But he looks class. Totally classy. Brilliant. 4 goals the other day. Amazing.
Yeah. He's obviously going to be one of those number 10s, along with Foden and Bellingham, who might be time. I wonder how that's going to work, and I share your sentiment. You know, Carsley's going to need all the luck he could get trying to make that happen. But, you know, he has to find his best position for England, and, you know, reason would suggest that where his best position is at club level should be where he's playing for England. But when you have another player doing well in that same position, you know, it's all going to be very difficult in that regard. And I only hope that I really do hope that he'll somehow find his niche and start performing. And if it is to be that he occupies the right wing position as a substitute, he should be now in a position where he provides severe competition for Bukayo Saka. Maybe, as I've said in another stream, Carsley thinks that Palmer might not be best at starting a game, but can definitely make an impact as a super sub. And if that's the case, then it can't be that he gets to he starts on the bench all the time like Johnny Duran at Aston Villa. He has to actually start a few games and be rewarded for that if his performances demand it. So I think he might possibly try to experiment with that against Greece. Against Finland, I'm not too sure. I think he should play a proper, more sensible team.
Yeah, I think he's an amazing player, though. You got to play somebody who's really hot right now, and he is. And he's just scoring goals for fun at the moment. You got to find a role for him there. Really, you got to. But Morgan Gibbs-White, can you say he's going to get any chance here in the squad, in the team? Will he play any part in it? I think he's a very good player for Forest. I rate him.
Yeah, as a substitute, he should definitely get a few minutes, and maybe, you know, if he impresses in those minutes, he might end starting. It's a bit of a shame, though, really, because, you know, when you take a look at some of the players that have been left out, like Eze and Bowen, when they had their chances for England, they didn't do badly at all. In fact, I thought they did well. But obviously, you know, club form dictates that they can't be picked right now. And yet, you know, it'll remain to be seen how well more. So, in one sense, it's good that we're trying to develop a much bigger pool of talent, and that sort of makes me happy. But on the other hand, as I've said, you can't keep chopping and changing too often. Sometimes you have to give some players a little bit of leeway. But maybe Carsley's idea is that neither Eze nor Bowen have quite enough of the experience needed to really be sure of their places, even if their club form isn't as good. And that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of these stalwarts end up getting picked again and again and again. But, I'd like to think that do well given his chance. He might end up being used as he might definitely have a substitute appearance in at least one of the games and get some minutes, and then he'll possibly give Carsley food for thought as to whether or not he should get more minutes for England. But we'll see how things go. What I want to see now is the established players have to continue to perform well to justify their places in the team. And if there's a situation where even Harry Kane can't do business, if Kane can't be able, or if Kyle moves as though he's still in the stable, or if Pickford continues to dinosaur arms and the legs of the table, then, we have to upset the cart and some of the senior players. Sorry, your services are no longer required. Southgate, to his credit, was very ruthless at doing that, even if it was a little bit of a hammer blow at times. But I think Carsley will on the job. He'll get the balance right, and we'll see. As I said, he'll do his job with some integrity, and we'll see how well he does. The sad thing is we keep saying the same thing about these managers who come in, and then after a few years, they end up completely losing the plot. I just hope history doesn't repeat itself,
Yeah. And now we move on to Angel Gomez. Has Angel earned his wings, do you think? Yeah.
Ooh, very hard to say. Very, very hard to say. I think he's shown some talent.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why Carsley's picked him in the squad. It will remain to be seen what he does with the opportunity he gets and how well he continues to do at club level. And he's definitely one for the future. So it'll remain to be seen how well he does. And I'm looking forward to seeing how well he does in these midweek internationals.
So he really needs to pray and hope Carsley has faith in him, and he could be in heaven if he keeps playing. Oh, sorry, let's get him all out of the way. He plays him a lot.
Yep.
Sorry, let's get them jokes out of the way, man. But as long as you don't make him feel cross. No, that was a bad one. But
I do like the joke. Don't think I don't like them, Mike. I love coming on your streams.
And we move on though to Phil Foden. I thought you could say he had a pretty mixed Euros. Wasn't really at his best most of the time. Fair to say.
And even now, he hasn't exactly been uprooting trees for Manchester City, but he's always going to find a place in the squad by virtue of his talent. Did you hear that?
Yeah, heard it, mate. And we also bring back Hey Jude get a game as well. He should do at last. I think we've been without him since probably a year.
He's taken a sad song and made it better.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'd be good to see him back at last because I think we had been without him since the Euro. So I'm sure he'll play, but it's finding the place for all of them. Like, how difficult is that?
Well, it is going to be difficult. Some players perform well in certain other positions. Let's see how he does it. Like I said, he'll probably against Greece, but not against Finland.
And of course, Jackie Grealish.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, some interesting news for you. There's been a League 1 game between Marseille and Angers, and Neil Maupay received a second yellow card after an ankle swipe at an Angers player.
Oh dear. That's Neil
I think it's fair to, you're better off without him, mate. You're better off without him.
Yeah. Neil Shithouse Maupay does it again. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
scored some goals for us, so I'm not going to slag him off. He actually did score some goals when he came back. You know, people
let's
always
not forget. Let's not.
the bad shit.
Let's not forget. He gave Emi Martinez his career.
True, yeah, and you're happy about that, aren't you, Manny? Yeah.
Quite.
The bromance is blossoming. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway. So the pluses are obviously Jack Grealish back, looking good again. Anthony Gordon, I think, has been great for England and probably Newcastle in good form. What do you think about him?
Newcastle for who?
Anthony Gordon. He's been flash, you know.
Oh,
He's been
you would say.
Solanke.
Yeah, he's been doing quite well. Can't really complain about it. And yeah, most of these people who were there, still there, you know, you can't really complain about their continued selection. And I think Gordon's one of those players who's continuing to earn his stripes and prove that he deserves to be in the squad more than anything else.
Yeah. And we're going to the subject of Harry Kane. Do you think he's on his way out or going to play a few more games, should we say? No. And you're on your way out, Manny. Yeah, I see. But yeah, just going to say about these quickly, guys, and then we're going to go. Well, I'm waiting for Manny to come back, and then obviously I'm going to bounce after this bit anyway. Yeah, it's been good anyway. Hope everyone's enjoyed it. Some people have been in the live chat. Warren, of course, Luca, Harry. Thanks to all you all coming in. Brilliant. Thanks for supporting me, showing me the love. Brilliant. Thank you. But keep smashing the likes and subbing, guys. You know, it's really important. Help this channel keep growing. Still on 114. So let's keep it going, guys, please. Cheers. Yeah, so anyway, we was going to talk about Harry Kane and he conveniently left. I wonder why. But yeah, is Kane on the way out like you were then, Jismani?
Let's see if he scores a few. As I said, he'll pad his stats in the qualifiers league games by scoring more goals and adding to his, gut tally, and then continue to get picked. And then when it comes time to play in a big game or a major tournament, he'll come a cropper. I think he's not on the way out just yet, but we'll see what happens. A lot of things can happen. There was some doubt as to whether or not he would have played against Aston Villa with an injury, but he passed his fitness. There's a lot of good that did his team, by the way. And yeah, we'll have to see if he maintains his form for Bayern Munich. But obviously, he is going to be expected to do well in the big games. Otherwise, the likes of Didi Hamann are going to continue to really, get on his case. But look, as far as the attackers are concerned, I'm very happy. Solanke.
You happy with Saka still? He's got to have a rest, surely, Manny, though. Come on, Saka. He's got to be rested. Come on.
He should. He should. But the problem is, the boy says he wants to play. But sometimes you don't always know. You don't always know your own body. But I think Saka should be there on merit. And obviously, whether or not it'll be between him and Palmer for that right wing spot remains to be seen. And as I said, I mean, Kane is, of course, going to be there, captain and everything. But Solanke being there makes me very happy. And it'll make you happy that Tony is no longer there. And he might have one season in Saudi and decide, you know what, I want to keep playing for England. So I'm going back to Europe and I'm going to try my luck. But, as I said, Solanke, Watkins, Madueke, Saka, I'm happy.
You know what would really make me happy, Manny? Ollie Watkins coming back to the Bees. But it ain't going to happen, is it? So I'm going to keep going on about this and going on about it. But,
never know, You never know. You never know. Once his career winds down, he'll come back and play a few seasons and endear himself to you lot.
I hope. Fingers crossed. But anyway, so in general, we're fairly happy with the squad. Manny, would you say? It's pretty good.
Reasonably happy, and we'll see how well they do in the qualifiers. I mean, in these Nations League games and subsequent games, we'll see how well they do.
Yeah, it's only Greece and Finland. With no disrespect to them, we should be beating them teams, shouldn't we? They shouldn't be a challenge, really.
We should, absolutely.
Anyway, mate, do you want to shout out your socials? Because obviously you've got to bounce. I want to go on the stream in a minute, Irish one. So shout out your socials, mate.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks a lot, Steve, for hosting this stream. And if any of you want to catch me, you can catch me on both of Mr. B's channels, the channel where we talk England cricket and also the Hive Football Chat, or the Buzz, as is more or less said these days. And yeah, you can also catch me on YouTube. I won't be on Oris stream tonight. It's a bit late for me, and I've already had another stream as well, but I might possibly join in the chat if I can. And also Del Boy Gunner TV, Coach's Corner, as I mentioned, up the cherries in all departments. Also Spurs U Asia TV, where you can catch me there on Wednesdays, and where Mr. B also has a permanent open invitation to come back there. I will send him the link, of course, from Eugene through me. And I don't mind being a middleman. That's the way I roll. Also, Huddersfield Town Fan TV, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AC TV, Rich Sports, Football United, Football Overseas, Gundown UK, Southern Gooner, and can't really name too many more channels. Ah, yes, Warren's Team Talk. He was here in the chat earlier, and we had a stream as recently as a couple of weeks or so ago talking about the Manchester City Arsenal game at the Etihad, where it was a missed opportunity. And hopefully I'll get some chances to go on his channel again. Do please check it out. It is really a wonderful channel in terms of quality and interesting stuff he offers you. And there are several other channels, of course, on the YouTube community where I've been at least once. All channels are quite special to me, but I understand that there are some people who don't feel that way. And to those people who don't feel that way, as always, there'll be a check. Start writing a few. Big up to Warren, who was in the chat, and everyone else who was here. I think Honeygun was here. Harry, good to see you as well, mate. And
Luca.
Hope you all enjoy the weekend and the football coming up. And nothing much else to say except take care of yourselves, be safe and be happy, and don't do unto others as you have others do unto you, and don't do anything that Mr. B or I wouldn't do. Until then, farewell to thee, goodbye, God bless to all of you. And I think I'm going to have to jump out of the stream now so that Mr. B can close it. I don't want to run the risk of having to, come out again and not hearing what he has to say.
Yeah, no worries, my friend. You take care and have a good one and great weekend. And I'm sure we'll be on the stream next week sometime with the cricket and everything. So, cheers. Anyway, yeah, thanks once again to him, Manny Fangaderai. Great guy, great bloke. Comes on all lot of streams. He's got to do his own show, sometime his own channel, and he's sort of doing it on Football Overseas. So check that out. He'll be on there fairly soon. I think he's done a prediction thing, Premier prediction stream on there. So I'm sure that'll be out very soon. Keep checking him out. And of course, Luca Talks Ball. Luca on here. Go and check his channel out. Brilliant channel, Luca Talks Ball. Yeah, and Honey Gun as well, Harry. Go and check his channel out. Great one as well, Harry Minton. Great young man. Brilliant. Been on here a few times, of course. Yeah, Warren's Team Talk, of course, Warren. Brilliant. Go and check his channel out. Great channel. Fantastic. Please sub to them. They can do with your love and support and subs. And once again, mine, of course, follow me on Mr. B for Life 182 on Instagram. Mr. B Hive Football Chat, Mr. B Chats England Cricket. Plenty of content to come. Reaction to this match against Wolves. Hopefully we can win, guys. And as me and Manny have already predicted, hopefully a 2-1. Or any kind of win, if it's a 1-0 or whatever. a win would be welcome against the bottom place team. We should beat. But it don't always happen. We know with the Bees, we don't hold on. We can't hold on. So, but hopefully this time we will. I hope we get the result, guys. And, you know, it's been a good one. As I say, the reaction will be for that. And the buzz next week, my debate show, that'll be back. Probably, don't know when, maybe Monday, Tuesday, anytime, possibly in the week. Along with the cricket content as well, with the Women's World Cup on at the moment. It'll be a watch along or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. With England, probably. So watch out for them. And, yeah, plenty to come. Obviously, the Nations League coming, so might not be quite so much, but I may do a watch along for the England football. I'm not sure. I'll confirm that nearer the time if I'm doing anything. But anyway, guys, it's been great. I'm going on to another stream, so I've got to bounce. So thanks once again, guys. Thanks for all your support. And until the next time, it's goodbye. I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone.